Good evening. This is Coach Anthony Williams, founder and CEO of Connected Athletics. We are a startup company based in Austin, Texas, where we are focused on helping student athletes successfully transition from high school to college and then into a career, hopefully based on their major, once their football career is over, whenever that is. We are sponsored by our new sponsor, Buffalo Wild Wings, there's a sports bar right there in Katy, Texas. So we've got a nice program going on where they are sponsoring the Taylor Mustangs. Any fans that come in to the restaurant and mention Taylor High School that they support the Mustangs, 10% of their bill will go towards the program. So it's a great fundraiser to help out the football program and to help student athletes, like the one you're about to hear from, who I'm really excited to interview. Nick Getty is a class of 22 linebacker at Taylor High School, which is in the Katy area. He's 6'1", 210 pounds. He's got a 3.84 weighted GPA, which is outstanding. And he's an honor roll student. And he plays the best position in all football because I played linebacker back in the day. Nick, how you doing this evening?
Great. Awesome. How are you?
Man, I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your story. Looking forward to hearing about the win last Thursday and just about you going forward as you go through the recruiting process. How are things? How's everything going for you?
It's going awesome. Just having some fun with the season. Just ready for it to start up and just excited for next game.
Great. Well, hey, let's jump right in and let these coaches know who you are at another level. Let's talk about first thing, as you know, that coaches are concerned about at the college level is academics. Tell us about we talk a lot about, you talk to football players, and they talk about their work ethic and how they grind. And I'm in the weight room and I'm, on the field on my 40. Tell me about your academic work ethic.
Well, I spend about twice as much time as I do working football on like academics. I'm in all AP classes and all A's for the most part, except for physics, when I have a high B in. So, doing pretty great.
Good. Tell us, are there any specific teachers or APs or tutors that you work with to help you maintain that high GPA?
Coach Hart and Coach Coker. Yeah, they just keep me on track mostly, keep me focused.
I like it. Good.
Work on. Yeah.
And then you mentioned some of them earlier, but you've taken all these AP classes, but what are your favorite classes? What are the ones you have the most fun in learning?
German, because it's a fun class. It's, besides all the stereotypes and what people think, it's just more fun than it really is, like, scary.
So,
and yeah.
Real quick, strange side story. I was born in Frankfurt, Germany. My father was in the Army, and I was born in an Army base in Germany. So I've been out there many times on business. It is a very hard language to learn. You're the first student athlete I've talked to that's actually taking German, not Spanish, not French, going all in with German. So that's great.
Yes, sir. I think it's easier than than those languages. So it's more fun.
Okay. Is that something you plan on? Is that something you just did for fun, or is that something you plan on using in your career down the road, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes?
Just for fun. Yeah. Okay. Just went for it. Do something different.
Okay. And then what other classes besides your German class?
History.
Okay.
It's always come easy to me, but I think it's just fun to learn about what happened in the past and what we can learn from it.
Absolutely, especially with the times we're in now. It's great. Hey, tell us, you've still got two more years left of high school. Do you have an idea what you're going to major in when you get to college?
Probably kinesiology, because I like to work out, and I think it'd be fun to work as a personal trainer, just teach people.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of student athletes I talk to like kinesiology and giving back and helping. That's awesome. Nick, one of the things that college coaches want to understand from players they recruit is their learning style, both in the classroom and on the field. Tell these coaches, are you more of a visual, verbal, or hands-on learning style?
I'm more of a hands-on. I can't really do a lot of the online learning. I have to be in the class just figuring out myself, just trying to figure it out, do my thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then tell us what kind of body language is key on the football field and the classroom. What kind of body language do you have in your class? Are you one of those guys that sits in the front and is locked into what the teacher's teaching, or are you in the back?
Just always up front, just confident, locked in as much as possible.
I like it. That's good stuff. Hey, tell us also, as we move to you personally, after you hear the academic stuff, tell these coaches about your family. Tell us about your mom and dad, their occupation, and are you an only child? Are you the oldest? Are you the youngest? Give us a little bit about your background.
So my dad, he works as a chemical engineer, and he's where I get a lot of my like academic drive from because he's always wanted me to succeed and get a degree. He wasn't too keen on me playing football at first, but he's pretty cool with it once I got pretty good grades, as well as playing football at a pretty good level. And my mom's an IT like department person. She works on payroll at the hospital. Just
Okay.
keeps all that running. And I have a little brother. I'm just trying to get him just to where I am, just keep him like confident with school and confident with football.
How young is he? How much younger is he than you?
He's a freshman this year, so
Okay.
2 years. Yeah.
Okay. And it's just you two?
Yes, sir.
All right. Tell us about the importance that you put on being the best big brother and example you can be to your younger brother.
Well, I just think if he sees I can do something, he'll think 100% he can do it. So I just have to just try to show him you can do anything if you put your mind to it, and just show.
Well, Nick, you've got good size already. You're 6'1", 210, with still 2 years left of school. What do you think your height and weight will be by the time you graduate from Taylor?
Uh, Between 6'1" and 6'2" for the height. I don't really think I'm gonna grow that much more, but I want to put on 20 pounds like I did last off season again. So try to get up to 240, but a lean 240.
An old recipe that college coaches use is, your parents. Obviously, what's your mom and dad's height to give us an idea of, and your grandparents if you have more another growth spurt in you.
My mom is I think 5'9", and my
Okay.
dad's 6'3". So
Okay. There you go.
there's a chance, but with all the lifting I do, don't know how much I'm going to grow
Okay.
still.
Well, I watched your video. You play linebacker, obviously. Play inside and outside. Do you have a preference, or do you not care?
I haven't played outside since like 8th grade, so mostly inside now.
Okay.
That's what
Good
I'm used
stuff.
to.
Tell us a little bit about your hobbies. When you're not working out, you're not doing schoolwork, and when you're not playing football, what are some of your hobbies? What do you like to do in your spare time?
Uh, Madden, it's pretty fun,
Okay.
but I like to work out a lot. That's one of my hobbies, just outside of
Mhm.
school, outside of football. Just go in there and that's where I relax, find where I
So
find the
the
peace.
obvious question with Madden: are you giving L's or you taking L's?
I give L's for the most part. Yeah, I don't think I'm
Okay.
the best on the team, but I could probably beat most of the players.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, Nick, I'm going to be interviewing a lot of Taylor players here coming up, and I'm going to ask them, hey, Madden, who's the top dog? And if it's not your name, I'm going to have to come back and bring you back on the podcast.
It's probably not going to be me, but I could probably beat up a few of them pretty easily.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. And then you mentioned that you have this love for lifting, powerlifting. Tell us a little bit about that.
So my freshman year, never really like thought of the weight room that much. And one of my coaches, Coach Shinson, he got me into powerlifting during the off season. And I went in there and I broke some records for freshmen and saw I'm close to the next set of records for my weight class and all that. So I started grinding, and between freshman and sophomore year, I went from 175 to 190, about 190 around there. And with that, just went and broke I think our 198 weight class record set by Ben
Wow.
Montgomery. And I beat it by about 100 pounds as a sophomore, and he was a senior. So I saw that, and I'm like, I'm pretty close to the all-time record at this point. So I might as well go for that by senior year.
Okay. Well, obviously, weightlifting is a big part of football, and it begs the question from these coaches want to know, what are some of your PRs? What are you benching? What are you squatting? I know we had the pandemic, but what are your maxes right now?
So before the pandemic, I had the regional meet, and I put up a 5'10" squat pretty
Holy
easily.
moly. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And most I've ever deadlift was 585, and benched was 335.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are one strong young man. And I'm sure that plays a big role in how you play the game, because you're very physical in your huddle video, for
So,
sure. Tell us a little bit about, that recruiting takes place in social media. If somebody was to look at your social media presence, how would they describe you? What kind of messages you want to put out there about you yourself as a student athlete?
Most of my social media is overwhelmingly positive because there's enough negative in the world. Might as well just keep all my social stuff positive,
Yeah.
right, and happy.
Okay.
But my Twitter is kind of lacking right now, so yeah.
Okay. And then tell the coaches. Obviously, there's a lot of different Twitter apps out there. Are you mostly a Twitter guy? Instagram? Are you on TikTok? What do you spend most of your time in?
Snapchat, surprisingly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the one where I have the most following on it.
Which app are you spending most of your time on from a recruiting exposure standpoint?
Uh, Probably Twitter
Okay.
for the most part. Just trying to get my name out there somewhat.
Yeah. And obviously, college coaches can see Nick's Twitter name there on the graphic in the background there. So obviously, we'll be looking to reach out, have them reach out to you. What are some of your favorites here? Let's talk about some of your favorite stuff personally. What's your favorite football movie?
The Blind Side.
Okay.
Well, the first one I ever watched and stuck with me the most.
Okay. What about your favorite food?
Food, brisket sandwiches.
Like it. Great choice. Okay. You're on the same page there.
Yeah.
What about your favorite music artist? Who do you like to listen to when you're working out or getting ready for pregame?
Uh, well, when I'm working out, there's a lot of Kanye and Eminem on there, so just getting hyped up, just trying to get my zone. Like
Yeah.
outside of workouts, probably some Ed Sheeran.
Okay. I
Yeah.
like it. Got to have a little conflict there, like that, a little difference, a little contrast. I call this my dream scenario question. Let's say you have 4 great years in college and you find yourself in New York City at the NFL draft. Who do you want sitting at your table waiting for the commissioner to call your name?
A few of my close friends, Griffin and Shaq, uh, my mom, and probably my little brother. Just so I can show him, hey, look what I did. You
Yeah.
can do it too.
Okay. Does your brother play football by chance?
Yes, sir. He does.
Oh, okay. And he's on the freshman team, I assume?
Yes, sir.
Is he going to be better than you?
Uh, he's gonna be taller than me,
Okay.
but I don't think he doesn't like the weight room as much as I do. So
Okay.
I don't know
So
how.
let's shout him out. Give us his name, class of 24. What position does he play?
Michael Getty, and he's an inside linebacker and fullback.
Love linebackers, man. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Tell us a little bit. Coaches want to know about what you're doing away from football. What are you doing to give back to your community? Are you involved in a church? Are you involved in nonprofits? What are you doing to give back?
I'm involved with a few church programs to help with volunteering and NHS.
Okay.
Just volunteer and just give back as much as possible. Yeah.
I like it. It's good stuff. Um, Nick, what do you want? Obviously, we want you to have the most successful football career you can have. But when football is over, and eventually it does come to an end, take it from somebody who's been there. What do you want your life to look like when football's over, whenever that is?
Uh, well, I'd like a good degree and just keep working out. Probably just go into powerlifting after football
Okay,
full time.
good stuff. And then what about professionally? Well, what do you want to do when football's over?
Personal training,
Okay.
like where I have the most.
Specifically around football, or just keeping people in shape, or what?
Uh, Maybe football, but probably bodybuilding and power, strength and power.
Like it. Okay. Got a plan in place. I like it. Another big thing that's important to coaches is how players communicate with their teammates and their coaches. What would you say is the best tool or way to communicate with you? Are you like a still old school, call me on the phone, text me, DM me? How do you like to communicate?
Uh, I mean, if you reach out to me, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Always, probably within a day or an hour, just depending on when I have my phone.
Okay.
But a DM or a text, that'd be awesome.
Okay. Let coaches know. Let's switch up here to finish up here. Let's switch to recruiting now. Tell these coaches, how would your teammates describe you as a teammate?
I'm the lead by example type of player, and that's what most of my teammates would say. Says I'm always showing everyone what the right thing to do is in the weight room, and the right way to do something on the field. I'm just trying to be a good example most of the time.
Okay.
Older
It shows
brother.
great leadership, which all linebackers must be. And let's talk about that. How do you define leadership, and how do you plan on leading as you're in your junior year this year?
I just think leadership is just being willing to do the hard things when no one else wants to. Like, if you want to be lazy in the weight room and relax, I mean, good for you, but it's not going to cut it most of the time. And this year, I just want to show a lot of my like freshman teammates what someone who was skinny and like small on the small side freshman year can do on varsity.
Yeah, makes sense. Tell us, as a linebacker, and I love that you played and coached that position. What do you consider your strengths, and what are some of the things you're working on as you go into your junior year as an inside linebacker?
I can fit run up almost perfectly most of the time, but still working on pass
Okay,
coverage.
okay,
No
good
big
stuff.
things.
What about, do you play a role in special teams? Coaches love players that play special teams.
I'm on all special teams. I picked my
Okay.
list last year, so yeah.
Do you enjoy it?
What?
Do you enjoy it?
Sometimes,
Okay.
maybe not after like a long defensive drive, but
Yeah.
it's
Remember those days? Yep.
yeah.
Well, good. Tell us, are you a player that coaches and your teammates can depend upon? Are you a dependable player?
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay.
I've never missed an off-season workout. Never missed a day of practice. Even if I had a doctor's appointment, just always get there on time and ready. Just ready to show
So,
everyone.
would you say as a young man that you are a man of your word? That if you say you're going to be there, you're going to be there?
Yes, sir. I am.
Absolutely. Okay, that's good to know. Tell us another question, and you know, you played and know a lot of players. There are players that just love playing in the games on Friday nights, and there's those who love practicing during the week to get ready to play in the games Friday night. Which one are you?
I like practicing a whole lot more than the Friday night games because practice is whenever you're able to make the mistake and a lot less stress on you, but there's also a lot more stress on you too because you want to get it correct for game night. And then game
Right.
night's just going out there relaxing, just doing what you've worked on all week.
Okay.
Doing the battle during the week, not on Friday.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Tell us about your preparation for each week. Are you a big film guy?
I'm trying to be.
Okay,
I'm
fair.
trying to get into it. But I personally like just seeing everything unfold in front of me and figuring out the way they want us to stop it and learning it and memorizing it.
Okay. The one thing I would advise you as a former linebacker coach and defensive coordinator, study of film can make you play faster by noticing formations. Every offense has tendencies, and once you pick up those tendencies, you may run 4.6, but you may play at a speed of 4.4. So just as somebody who's been there and done that, film study is critical as you go up to the next level and the next level above that. So keep that in mind as you go forward. Tell me, is there a certain linebacker that you pattern your game off of? Is there somebody at the college or pro level who's like, that's what I want my game to look like as a linebacker?
Well, the dude that just retired from Carolina, it's one of my favorite
Luke
guys.
Kitchley?
Yes, sir. He's one of my favorite guys to watch when I was younger.
Yeah.
And Lawrence Taylor with just the physicality and just
Yep.
playing like your head's on fire.
Yeah. Now, Luke Kitchley is a great example of somebody. It's unfortunate that the many concussions caused him out, but he's easily one of the best linebackers to play in the game. The way he played it with fire and energy and smarts, great tackler, you know, leader, definitely a good role model for you. You know, adversity is a big part of being a student athlete, Nick, as you know. Tell these coaches about a time in your life when you had to overcome some type of adversity, whether it was personal or dealing with football.
Well, when I was younger, my parents got divorced and just messy process.
Yeah.
And I get to see my dad as much as I really think I should, but it's a tough time and just got through it with football, with weights, just finding a way to get through it all.
Did you use that to kind of motivate yourself? Is that kind of one of the reasons why you put on 15 pounds of muscle that year?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, life is about taking negatives and turn them into positives, no matter any way you can do it. So I'm glad to hear that you understand that. You've got good size, good athlete. Tell us, what other sports do you play at Taylor besides football?
Well, I run track. I don't think I'm the fastest, but I just give it all my all every day. Throw
Yeah.
discus, no shot, work on the power. There's powerlifting, which we already talked about.
Yeah.
But and then just out of school, probably some volleyball, like sand volleyball.
Well, I'm sure you've heard it from your coaches, and I'll say it for everybody who's watching this podcast. College coaches love players that run track and compete in track in the spring. They don't like guys sitting around, so it's good that you are competing in the off season. We talked about, let's talk about recruiting a little bit. What are your, and I always like to use the word realistic, what are your realistic recruiting goals right now?
I'll just try to get into a good school for like education, get the degree.
Okay. You're not a D1 or bust kind of guy. Like I keep seeing these kids online.
I mean, I'd love to go D1, but
Right.
just realistically, there's only so many spots, and I think I could take
Exactly.
one. But realistically, if I can't, just go as good of a school as possible, get the
Okay. I
degree.
like it. Would you prefer to go to college in state, or are you open to going anywhere in the country?
Anywhere and everywhere.
Okay.
Just down with anything.
Good stuff. And then I'm sure you want that school to have a strong kinesiology program based on what your goals
Yeah.
are for after football. Okay, that'll
Yes.
help you drive your list. Um, Tell us, obviously, the last couple questions here, we'll finish up. Coaches love competitive players. Tell these coaches about your competitive nature.
I mean, I never lose most of the time. I've barely ever been beat in an individual drill. And just, if you beat me, you're not going to beat me the next time. It's
Okay.
just how it is.
Are you competitive just in football or in life in general?
Just in life.
Yeah.
I have all my smart friends in my AP classes, and I just try to keep my grades higher than theirs. And if I don't, work harder the next week. Just keep going with
Okay.
it.
I like it. Sometimes people only compete in their sport, they don't compete in life. True competitors compete in every aspect of life. I'm glad to hear you say that. That is outstanding here. Hey, let's finish up here. We talked about it earlier, but give these coaches your elevator pitch. Tell them why they should recruit you and what you're going to bring to their program.
Well, if you recruit me, I will just give it all my all every day. Just act like it's a blessing and not a privilege, and like a privilege to be there, and not like I just like it's for sure how it's supposed to be. Act like I have to earn it every day, and I'll adapt to every single level that you play me at, and just show you what I can be, and I'll do what you need me to do when you need me to do it, with however long you need me to do it. Give me a day,
Okay.
I'll fix it and get it all perfect for you.
I like it. Those are all the key words the coaches want to hear, man. Well, Nick, I'm definitely going to make it down there for a game to see you guys and see my two knucklehead friends, Hayden and Bryce. Congratulations on the win last week. I'm
Thank
looking forward to seeing you play. I love linebacker play, so I'm looking forward to seeing you play. If you have any questions going forward, please feel free to reach out to me and be safe, and we'll see you next week.
you. Yes, sir.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you. You too.